Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode of Kati G TV. I'm Kati Goshtosky, and the topic for this episode is how to have freedom in responding instead of reacting. Let me say it again. Freedom exists in responding and not reacting. So I bring all my real world examples to you guys and to all my clients. So here's one for you that made me think of this topic to discuss. I was on an airplane, as I often am, and I was sitting in the aisle seat, and this woman came to sit next to me, and she was running kind of late, and she was hurried and one of the last people on the plane. And as she ran past me to sit down, without even asking me to move my legs or anything, she put the armrest up between us. And I put it back down after she sat down because I needed it back down. And very gruffly, and I thought very rudely, she turned to me and slammed the armrest back up and said, "I still need this armrest up." And I was shocked, my friends. I was like, who talks to somebody like that? And what did I do? No better, let me tell you. I looked at her and I said, "That's fine, but you don't have to be rude about it, now do you?" So I was kind of surprised by my own response, and I was responding from a place of shock, and that's the whole point of this conversation. Fast forward a couple weeks later, and I had my big aha moment. I'm reading this book called The Book of Joy. It is co-written by the Archbishop Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama. And in this book, the Dalai Lama said something that made me just reel back in my seat. Here's what he said, my friends. You ready for it? He said, "There is true freedom in responding instead of reacting." And I stopped and thought, is that what I did on the plane with that woman? What is he talking about? What are we talking about? If you're looking at your brand, as I've been teaching it all along, we all know, branding is about perception, your own self-perception, which requires self-awareness to know how you're coming across, but also other people's perceptions. So perception is reality, and you get to choose whether you're responding or reacting. So there is great freedom for you to respond or react. However, when we react to triggers in our life, like a woman sitting next to me in what I thought was a rude manner putting the armrest up, that is not really a great deliberate brand that sells you well. And it's a reaction, it's not a response. It didn't feel good in that moment. I felt out of control, and I didn't have a very good deliberate brand in that moment. What's in it for you going forward? Stop and consider. When was the last time someone triggered you or an event triggered you where you were reacting instead of responding? Did you have self-awareness in that moment to know how you came across? And did it work for you? Or was it a brand perception of yourself that you really didn't want others to see? And if that's the case, what are you going to do differently about it next time? How are you going to choose to see it differently next time in order to put you in that spot of being deliberately in control of responding instead of reacting, which gives you all the freedom you ever need in the world? So if this material worked for you, if you thought that this was helpful, please consider sharing this episode with someone else who could benefit as well. If you have questions, if comments came up from this episode and the topic about your own brand that you want to discuss with me, click the button in this video and let's set up a time to talk. I'm happy to do so, and let's continue growing your brand. And until next time, Kati G out.